Medical units stand by. 30 seconds to contact. 20 seconds. 15. 10. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1.
We got him. Let's go.
Good evening, art connoisseurs and comic book aficionados. I did it backwards, didn't I? It's art aficionados and comic book connoisseurs.
And sleazy salesman.
We're joined tonight. Well, first of all, we have a new manager for the show, James. Thanks for becoming like our lawyer / manager.
You are most welcome, sir. And I am going to fix up your finances in a jiffy.
Our financials are fine, but we are joined tonight with our co-host, as always.
I didn't just disconnect, did I?
No, you're fine. You're still locked in. Billy Bob Sack.
A man that I call Bob.
Paul.
How you doing, Billy Bob?
Good.
Just playing some Path of Exiles 2.
Oh, the demo version, right? So, first impressions.
I gave it last night at Monday.
So you're mostly positive?
Well, it's early access, so I've had problems I had a weird thing where the game would just freeze up on me when trying loading into an area. I've had it crash once. Other than that, it's been fun. I was on I think I'm at the end of Act 1. I'm fighting like the Count. He's like introduces like the main villain. He's not a bad fight, but it's kind of bullshit, to be honest with you.
Interesting. We'll get into it. First, I want to introduce our other co-host for tonight, Frequency Studios.
Hello, everybody. How y'all doing?
Oh, you're roboting there a little bit, Wrangler.
I may have to switch back to the phone in a few then.
Oh, you're doing good now. It seems to have
Okay.
worked itself
I
out.
don't know if it's my computer, my internet, a little bit of both. But it's been an
Yeah.
issue the last couple of days.
Yeah, yesterday you had a little bit of laptop issues as well. Hope it gets better soon. Got to clean up that hard drive, defrag, if you're on Windows, I suppose. And so we're joined tonight with a special guest among us who's already started working. He's the most active on the art stream tonight. Animated Moon, welcome to the show, man.
Hey, thanks for having me by. Looking forward to it.
Are you working live on a page tonight for chapter 3?
Yeah, I'm going to be trying to get through as much of page 4 as I can for this next batch of pages. I have been really slow with these pages, which has been driving me slightly insane, but I do like how some of them are coming out. So progress has been at least decent, but really just kind of slowed down. So need to get some stuff done.
I hear you, man. I think I'm even slower than you, so don't feel so bad.
Yeah. It's one of those things where, like, you know, there's always that theoretical, like, theoretically I could get it done by this time, but it never works out that way.
No, life has other plans for you.
Yeah.
Usually, most of the time.
I was really hoping to have this batch of pages, the line work done by the end of the year, but not so sure about that anymore.
I mean, we could always postpone the end of the year until you're done.
Gosh, I wish. It'd be nice.
It's like, okay, everybody, we didn't get everything we needed done this year, so we're adding another 4 weeks to get everything done.
Like, anybody want to do a mulligan?
Listen, if you don't get this done soon, we're going to start calling you the animated Martin. Yes.
Well, I guess for my namesake, I'm gonna have to try harder. Alright. And I always make this mistake. I drew his mask and hat, but didn't put it in the thumbnail, so I'm gonna have to put that on.
I find the digital drawing fascinating. You have powers that we don't have in the physical realm. It defies physics.
Mm-hmm. It's both a blessing and a curse, I find, in a lot of ways, because there are certain things that I think you inherently pick up from more traditional mediums that you have to go out of your way to learn in digital.
All right, animated. Now we gotta introduce yourself and, of course, your story. The Lion King.
All right. Well, I'm the Animated Moon. I do primarily animation and illustration. I mostly stream on YouTube as of late, every Tuesday and Thursday. And I am currently, the biggest project I'm working on right now is an ongoing comic series I have called The Blind King, which you can go read at my site, theanimatedmoon.neocities.org, I believe it is. Where Frederick was gracious enough to give me some very handy code to make an actually decent comic reader. So everything that's available right now for the book is going to be over on that site. Eventually, it'll be theanimatedmoon.com, but that actually goes somewhere else right now. And I'll have most of the chapters free there to read. So coming up after I'm done with this batch of pages, I'm going to be going on to chapter 4, and that will also be available over on that site when that is finished, or rather as that is finished.
What was your inspirations for The Blind King?
Funny enough, the big inspiration behind the story was I was listening to an artist, a musician, a Japanese guitarist by the name of Ichika. And he did a challenge, basically, where he he was like, okay, I'll tune my guitar to whatever anyone suggests. And the first one was ABCDEF as a sort of joke. But he wound up writing an absolutely incredible piece of music, and it kind of started sort of giving me the sense of vision for, truth be told, for the character. I wish I could easily share it. Maybe in a bit I will. But the this image of a person wearing a mask in the woods playing this game of chess. And I slowly, it really just left me with a lot of questions. And so I started kind of answering those questions slowly over time. And so that's where it really began. But I took a lot of inspiration visually from other things like video games, for example, like Ico, which most people actually don't know Ico, but usually they know something like Shadow of the Colossus, and that one's
I actually
it's
do
made by
know.
the same people.
I've seen it. Never actually play it, but I've seen it. So.
I always recommend Ico. It's one of my favorite games of all time. Very inspirational to my art in general.
Still technically connected with Shadow of the Colossus, if I remember correctly.
There's like kind of ideas and crossovers of like things and stuff like that, like the children with horns and whatnot. So that was a really big inspiration, but as well as artists like Mobius, Gilles Giraud. I really wanted to kind of push myself, and looking at Mobius's work in stuff like The Long Tomorrow, or even like the concept art he did for Jodorowsky's Dune and stuff like that. It just like totally blew me away that you could describe shape with line like that, and that just seemed really enticing. So I was like, hey, you know what would be a great idea that I'm not going to regret later when I have to consistently make an art style around this concept? Taking inspiration from freaking Mobius and making a whole comic like that. So I dug my own grave with that one, but I have learned a lot, so that's been good. Otherwise, as far as the story goes, it's hard to say where the inspiration for that comes from. I'm not really sure. It's just kind of really kind of come to me as I've done it. I've been chasing kind of a unique sort of idea in my mind as far as like how I've been wanting to make this story, and that is, I don't know if you guys feel this way, like you, Frederick, you feel this way when you start working on an idea, like a new story or something like that, and there's something really like unique about how it feels at that stage of its design and stuff like that. But as time goes on, as you develop it more, it's sort of, you begin to lose that initial spark. It sort of morphs and turns into something else. I wanted to try to keep that spark, that initial spark, as much as I could for this story.
Keep a sense of newness throughout the development of the story.
Yeah, this very like almost like undefined attribute to the story that's very like unique and almost the best way I can describe it is dreamlike.
That's
it
what I was
feels
going
like
to
a
say.
dream.
Yeah, your story,
Yeah.
your whole comic has a dreamlike quality, reminiscent of Moebius. Of course, we can see that through it. Almost Dali at times.
Yes, surrealism is definitely another big inspiration for this comic. Is I'm pulling from a lot of surrealist work and ideas. Honestly, I probably should look at more Dali stuff for inspiration.
Yeah, I was very much into Dali during my art school years.
Yeah, was it supposed to be a Cthulhu type monster in the wall?
Of sorts, kind of. I would describe it as Eldritch. but it's more nuanced, I would say, than your typical like kind of Lovecraftian, horror beyond all reckoning kind of character. I want it to be more personal, and when you read chapter 2, you'll see that there will be more inclination of that. But yeah, that's honestly a fair assessment.
Well, I was just went out because I read the first chapter. One dude's like, they only accept people who don't have eyes or blind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they want to like keep the thing hidden from the world, not let it out, right?
Mm-hmm. Of sorts, yes. Rather, it's influence. They don't want to let its influence out, or at least contain its influence, I suppose.
Contain a Cthulhu monster. I don't think that's going to go well.
Like we failed to do with Miley Cyrus's influence.
No, that's horror beyond reckoning. I can't even dream of creating horror of that nature.
Is she worse than Taylor Swift, though? Is Taylor Swift not the apex of...
Yeah, she might be the apex. There's always like something worse. There's always a bigger fish. She's the bigger fish.
Now, you can always try, animate me.
So where can people check out like a sample of your work?
Well, like I said, over on as far as the comic goes, it's all available over on theanimatedmoon.neocities.org.
Nice.
But other work, I do have stuff over on the social media platform Kara. That's a really easy way to just see everything that I post. I probably should post there more, in fact. As well as things like Twitter or other places. I do have a site right now. If you go to theanimatedmoon.com, it might take a second to load, but that'll take you to what was my old website. And that has some other stuff that I've done. So yeah, that's everything's kind of all over the place. I want to make the NeoCity site kind of my ground zero for all of my stuff, but I need to develop it into a proper site and not just a platform for the comic. So that'll happen in the future, hopefully.
So what are you working on right now?
I'm working on one of the pages. But aside from that, I've actually been doing more. Let me go ahead and open up some other stuff I've been working on for the fun of it. On the completely other side of the spectrum of my work, I've been doing a lot of stuff for some fun little characters. Where is it? Oh, come on. There it is. I've been working on this piece. And
it didn't switch. Oh, here we go.
It's loaded. There it goes. I've been working on this piece, and I still need to. I've been doing the paint over it. So I still need to do the rest of the paint over everything else. But the flats are down, and I like how it's coming out. So this one's pretty fun. And then I also have plans for. Where is that one? Here it is. This one's even less done, but this one's going to be more sophisticated because each of these elements are actually completely separated. And the reason that is because I'm going to take all of them and I'm going to kind of animate them each on their own kind of plane and do some effect stuff and make basically a kind of an animated wallpaper kind of thing for it. So this one's going to take a while to finish.
Yeah, and you're going to have a Darth Meow Meow.
I still need to do that. Technically, actually, hold on. Let me bring that other one back up real quick. Technically, I did, as a slight reference, I gave a mouse a lightsaber. So it's coming. It'll eventually happen. But yeah.
Yeah, I kept telling Animate Moon when he was drawing that one night. Make it a poster at least, you know. Whoa,
I will. Yeah.
you're gonna get the main piece of Dark
Yeah.
His return.
I'll put that like in her room or something like that. Because I am also designing her room in 3D, using kind of a billboard effect, which where is it? This is what her room looks like when it loads. It takes forever. Come on, there we go. So I need to design all the props and stuff like that and put them together in 3D so I can animate stuff over them. But yeah, that's a whole lot of more work I need to do as well.
Yeah, that's not just your run-of-the-mill rendering and color work either. Like, you've got a whole painterly style to it. These looks like legit paintings when they're finished on the page.
Well, that was oops, that's the wrong one. That is one thing that I've been kind of developing is where is it? Yeah, here it is. Yeah, I want it to have that nice texture. That's one of those things I mentioned earlier with digital that you have to kind of go out of your way to get. When you paint physically, it's going to have texture, right? It's inherently going to have texture. But a lot of times, what people will do is, if I make a new thing or whatever, people will, they'll lay down like a shape or something like that in like a flat, right? But then they'll take something like an airbrush and just do, like do the shading that way. Okay. And an airbrush very rarely looks good because it's too smooth. Like
That's what I used to do before I got a colorist.
Yeah, airbrushes are good for when you are applying light, like just lighting, for gradation, for the sake of gradation. They're not good for painting volume and shape and texture. That's where something like in the oil brush, the gouache paint brush comes into play. Is you can really use that to get a nice texture, and it's a lot more interesting. It's a lot more natural. It has a kind of a natural aesthetic to it, and then you can kind of work with it. And then you're more inclined to just be like, oh, I'm just gonna throw in like some purple here and blend that in. And now you have something really interesting going on because color comes in all kinds of types and things like that. And maybe I'm gonna even push it even further. And so now all of a sudden we have much more of a lot more character to the way we're painting and blending. So that's kind of what I really wanted to push with those other pieces. You can see that everywhere there's all these little inclinations of brush stroke and random colors kind of thrown in to kind of spruce it up and give it some life.
So is this taking place in the 90s? Because you've got like a CD player on the shelf
and like 2000s, something like that. I mean, I grew up with CD players as well. I grew up in the 2000s. So.
Yeah.
VHS tapes as well. So
they were great, except when they would skip.
Yeah.
The CD started skipping.
No, I remember my first MP3 player because I used to work as a custodian for my church when I was really young. And I would listen to music, but all I had was a CD player. So I'd be walking around with a CD player and just be constantly skipping, probably ruining the discs as well. And then I got my first MP3 player back when those were a thing. And I could hold like 25 songs or something like that. I was like, this is amazing.
Hello, Christina.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going, Christina?
That she grew up on vinyl.
Vinyl, I think, is still the best format to have something to hold in your hands, to open up and read, and you can have those awesome booklets and posters and vinyl. The art printed on the vinyl, I think, is the peak music product.
I actually do have some vinyls. I didn't really grow up with vinyls, but I grew up with a lot of music from that time. And so me and my brother one day were at a retro game expo, and we saw that people were selling vinyls, and we're like, wait a minute, hold on. They have like Yes and Rush and all these bands we know in here. These things aren't that expensive, let's just pick up a few. And so I've actually over the years gotten a bit of a collection. And I will say, sitting down to read some like classic sci-fi while listening to like To Meet Us the Planets or something like that is pretty, I don't know, that feels pretty good to throw on a vinyl and read some sci-fi.
Anybody remember the small vinyls that would sometimes come in a magazine?
Like a 45 or
Yeah,
like how big?
some of them were even kind of floppy, but you put them on a record player at work. Like, I'm trying to remember what magazine it was in.
Calm
Like,
down,
was it-
Grandpa.
I used to have to turn the hand crank to go. Well, I don't even remember what those were called. What were they? But like, I think Highlights magazine every once in a while they have like this little vinyl thing that's on it or something.
Funny enough.
Whatever was in it, whatever was in it.
Funny enough, I actually do remember. I used to listen to 45s, and we're talking like classic, like shellac 45s with my family, of like Spike Jones and those guys back in the day.
Back in my day.
My first vinyl I ever purchased was Bad from Michael Jackson.
That's a pretty good one.
Yeah, and it had one less song than it does now. When it came out in CD, they added Leave Me Alone, which wasn't on the initial vinyl.
Yeah, they tend to do that. That's the one thing that's kind of about getting stuff, like getting the vinyl of like a band or whatever, that especially if you've listened to like the CD, is it's like, oh shoot, this song isn't on there. I had that happen to me with Jethro Tull album Broadsword of the Beast. It's like, oh shoot, they don't have Jack Frost and the Hooded Crow on this album. Dang it. It was a single.
As a little kid, one of my favorite shows was Jap Animation, and they had this awesome music. They turned basically the whole show into a vinyl record, and my parents taped the vinyl on a cassette tape so they would play it in the car when we would travel. Apparently, kids. As a kid, I would enjoy the ride a whole lot more listening to that.
Mm-hmm. We used to make mix CDs of different music, and I remember because like for the longest time I didn't know who some of the people were, so I'd be listening to friggin' Al Di Meola or Andreas Vollenweider and not even know it. But that music is like imprinted on my mind.
Yeah, I mean, mixtapes were also a form of gift back in the day. Like people would gift them other people some music to listen to. Like, oh,
Mhm.
what do you listen to? Make me a cassette tape.
Funny enough, that reminds me. I finally got my. I have a double deck cassette deck that I have hooked up to my computer. I need to start making some more mixtapes because I've made a handful that I listen to in the car because I have a car from 1987.
Hey, last time I hooked a cassette player up to a computer, I was playing Zaxxon.
I got a motorcycle from the same year.
Nice.
Zaxxon-
What brand?
Zaxxon was
Hon-
one of the first isometric video games of spaceships.
Oh.
that I know.
A Honda Helix.
Nice.
All right, time to do this boss fight. Spawn my minion. Spawn. Spawn.
I've been starting to look at a video game I want to get during the holidays, but I don't have a system to play it on, so I have to choose a system as well. Like, am I going to get a small gaming system like a Switch, or am I going to go all in and buy a gaming computer and all that? But one of the games I want to buy is they made a compilation of all the Marvel versus Capcom, like X-Men versus
Oh, yeah.
games and all that. So there's this huge compilation from the 90s and early 2000s from their fighting games with, you know, Street Fighter and X-Men and all that. And it's got me like going like, oh, that's the game I want to play during the holidays.
And I died.
Sorry to hear that.
I could never get into fighting games. I never really did. I mean, for one thing, I didn't grow up during the arcade age. So
yeah, that's where the nostalgia comes from. I'd say it's like seeing them in the arcade and then playing with your friends and dropping a couple of quarters in there.
Well,
Yep.
you know what they say. If you don't like fighting games, I got news for you. It means you're gay.
dang.
I love that first Marvel superheroes versus Street Fighter game.
Yeah.
And it all started with X-Men made by Capcom because they kind of threw them as the bonus character. You had to unlock them, and people started talking, and they finally did the Marvel versus Capcom stuff started, and that I just loved. I dumped so many quarters into that arcade.
Yeah, first of all, Capcom's a great video game company for a lot of reasons. They had a huge number of successful franchises, excellent music in the department, and the Street Fighter games were the height of the fighting arcades. You know?
Yeah. They've crossed over pretty much everybody because they got King Fighter versus Street Fighter or something. SNK versus Capcom. That's what it is.
So should I buy a Nintendo Switch and play it on a handheld, or should I like wait out and get a whole gaming PC and get it on Steam?
Yeah, be a man. Get a home gaming PC. And don't even get it on Steam. Get the emulator.
I have a Switch, and I now finally have a Steam account on a computer that can barely function. So I'm still playing on the Switch.
So how have you been finding the Switch, Wrangler? Do you like it as a gaming system?
Oh, I really do. You know what's really cool? I can go to the store, buy a copy of a game, put it inside the Switch, and play it with no internet connection. How many consoles can do that still?
Yeah, that's pretty crazy, man. You don't have to download anything. There's no patch.
No. However, once you connect to the internet, it will automatically start grabbing the updates.
Those damn updates.
I mean, last time I tested it, it was Super Mario Wonder. When I bought that, I took the Switch, put it in there, and it started up and played no problem. Because I wanted to make sure, I could still play these things without requiring internet connection. And guess what? They do.
How do you do, fellow kids?
What?
I was contractually obligated to play a clip. It's been a half hour into the show.
Yeah,
Oh my god, I finally
don't
survived that
worry.
one fucking phase. Holy shit.
Speaking of being able to just hook up a console and play, I actually decided to get my old NES out the first time in a while.
Oh, like was it a refurbished NES or is it your childhood version?
I don't know how refurbished it is. I mean, it works, so there's that. I don't know if it has like the lockout pin pulled or bent or anything like that, but it does still work. I got it. Geez, I think I got it like 10 years ago now. Again at the Retro Expo. I got a lot of things at that expo. I'm glad I did when I did because, my word, those things go for a lot now. But yeah,
When you see something at an expo or a conference, you want it, don't hesitate. You got to grab it because you might not see it again.
Oh my god!
At least not for those prices.
No.
Turning into Palpatine or something there.
I hope you're gaming and not in the bathroom right now, Billy Bob.
God, this boss. Like, the first part of this boss fight is fucking fun. The second part is just so much bullshit. Like, he turns
I
into
love how Christy is just so technically inclined. She uses all the proper terms. She says, "Ethan, fix your talking thing."
I'm just gonna put this game down for you. That boss is just annoying me.
Yeah, I think Wrangler is merging with the AI sometimes. He's turning into a robot. He's more machine than man now.
Aren't we all?
Aren't we all?
Right.
I see you have some blue line there in the back as well. Did you draw it in blue line, or is it just black line that you turn blue?
Black line that I turned blue. There's actually a really cool trait where if I hit Control B on a layer, it'll convert it into a color layer, and the natural color that it lands on is blue. So I just kept it that way.
That's dope.
So yeah, but it's very nice for just being able to quickly be like, okay, I want to kind of push that into the background and not worry about it. Still have it as reference.
Yeah, of course, man. It's like it's your first sketch. You want to keep it. It works really well as a layer, and blue line is kind of a natural. I mean, I've started drawing blue again. On my pages. I've done it for some commissions, and I used to do it a lot, but I went back to pencil drawing for some reason. But pencil is pretty dirty, and when I actually come to scan the pages, it picks up a lot of the pencil guides, which kind of ruins the page. You got to go in and fix it.
Yeah.
Do some extra work.
Truth be told, this actually isn't my first drawing. My first drawing was this. Very, very simple little thumbnails to figure out the layout.
Yeah, I'd say thumbnail level art for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I actually used to go straight from this to final line, but it was such a pain that I was like, okay, I need to do a little extra process to make this actually easier.
Yeah, the old artists like Rob Liefeld used to take his thumbnails and photocopy it up to large size, and then
Really?
they do their final art over a light box with the photocopy of their thumbnail because they wanted to keep the energy. It's like if you get it right on the thumbnail, you can't just hand draw it bigger because you lose the momentum, the energy. So they light box it, photocopy it, and light box it.
That actually was kind of part of the process as to why I started doing it this way. Is when I was penciling the first page, I was like, I really like this line work. I don't want to have to go over this. I just want that line work. So I was like, screw it. I'm just going to throw it onto monochrome and have that be my line work.
This dude, Frederick, is the one who's fucking kicking my ass right now. This main boss. He's like, this first phase, easy as fuck. You just gotta learn his pattern. Right?
Oh man, that looks so good. I need a PC, like James says. I mean, James is my lawyer, so I gotta listen to his advice. I'm gonna get a PC.
Yes, I'm his life coach as well. I'm a lawyer, life coach, financier. Put all your money into Bitcoin, canned food, and gold.
See? That's why I
And
hired him.
ammunition.
We gotta. That's the triple whammy.
Well, you're in Canada, so maybe just a really big stick.
Yeah, they're taking all our guns away, man.
Yeah, they even took away your hunting rifles. Like, what's up?
They're insane, man. They're trying to get away with everything, but Trump's going to come in with the tariffs, and it's going to change things up a bit.
I think it's hilarious that they say they want to give the guns to Ukraine, and they're taking hunting rifles and like long rifles.
Yeah, it's like you guys don't need guns for protection, but Ukraine needs them for protection.
These are not weapons of war. You cannot effectively use these in an open battlefield.
No, it's I mean, they've been trying to do the gun grab forever. So they keep doing it progressively each time. So any inch they can get, they go for. We're not protected by the Second Amendment until we become the 51st state, that is.
There's too much liberals, man. If we take you guys in, there's way too much liberal representation. We'll be swamped.
Yeah, but that's just because of the soy. If we give everybody good steak, that'll go away within a generation.
Plus, like, there's a lot of Canadians there that don't understand the beauty of freedom of speech and owning guns.
Yeah, well, they will.
They will, right? Yeah. You try to take all our guns away.
Speaking of guns, I've got a little action clip here from an interesting show from Japan. I think this is a artistic take on the Second World War or something.
Oh boy.
Here we go.
That looked like the Power Rangers on a bad acid trip.
I mean, it kind of is.
Yeah. That's a good
Common
way
Rider, man.
That's a
Super
good way of
Sentai.
describing it.
Hold on. Something like that. All right, let's see here. Can't quite figure out the torso.
And you do a lot of art streams like this, don't you, Animated Moon? Like a couple times a week?
Yeah, Tuesdays and Thursdays I do an art stream. Sometimes I miss it, but I try not to. But yeah, those have been going really good, actually. I've been really enjoying the people stopping by and saying hi and hanging out. It really does help to kind of keep motivation up, having a little bit of company and just hanging out with people in general. Let's see here.
Do we have your YouTube channel? Or are you the Animated Moon on YouTube?
Yeah, it's just the Animated Moon on YouTube.
We've got a little clip here of a fellow comic book artist by the name of Renee. What's her last name, Billy Bob? Renee, who's working on Fiendish. I've got a nice little clip of her giving some, talking about the details she was putting into her work. Let's listen to it.
So I get told a lot that I add too much detail to my comic work. And while I certainly understand why having tons of detail on every single page of a comic would be rather impractical, I also think detail makes your world come to life, and it adds to the immersion that I want my comics to have. Plus, drawing detail is kind of just therapeutic to me. And here's the key. Even though in one read of a comic, the reader's eyes won't be on one panel for that long, I am drawing a book that I hope people can revisit over and over again. So to me, it's always worth it to put a little extra into the visual storytelling. What do you think of this art style? Let me know.
That's a lot of work, man.
Well, she wanted to have like the physical ink on the page. Do the pencils in digital.
Yeah, is she inking? Did she start inking the physical? I haven't seen any of her streams lately on my YouTube for some reason. Have you been following her process, Billy Bob? I know she wanted to start inking physically.
I have not, but she just showed that she was physically inking.
Yeah.
In that clip. I think she released a video, but I don't think I've watched it yet.
Yeah.
This leg isn't right.
She has some interesting art streams.
Yeah, let me look.
I printed a bunch of John Byrne art in Blue Line to eventually practice inking on. It'll be a fun project and good exercise, I think. Got to keep those skills and reflexes up there.
Honestly, I need to hit the books as well. I feel like my composition, a few things are beginning to kind of be lacking. Case in point, I can't draw a freaking leg.
Legs? Yeah.
Well, it's particularly at this angle. It's kind of an awkward angle.
All right, let me show you how to draw some legs, Animated Moon.
Educate me, Billy. Enlighten me.
Oh, this ought to be good.
All righty.
Should be tall. Actually, this would be up higher.
All right, you draw a leg like this. There's a big fucking foot. Maybe there's a toe, you know? Something like that. There you go, toenail.
Thank you for tuning into this week's Proof of Comic art stream.
See, there you go, like this. You know, you want to add some detail as well. So you add like little tiny hairs on his leg, you know? I'm fucking it up right now, but you know, something like this. There you go. You know, he's got like elephantitis. What is that? Is that what's called?
Yes, that is what it's called.
Then you want to color it in.
Oh my goodness.
Hold
Friggin'
up.
beautiful.
There's a broken line. Hold up.
This is peak art stream here.
There you
Why do
go.
I even bother? I should just give up.
Hold up.
That's how I stay humble.
Yeah, just watch Billy, man. We'll really show you what's up, man.
There you go. Look at how it's fixed.
Friggin' Da Vinci, watch out over here.
There you go.
Yeah, it's
The technique.
troubleshooting. He's even doing some coloring on the line art.
Listen, he's got like a fungal disease, so his toe's green. I think it's a toe. There you go. Billy Bob Sack's guide to drawing feet and legs.
You can pre-order it on Amazon today.
That's right. And listen, no 3D assets at all in this drawing.
Just 2D assets, right?
Yep. All right, you need any more hints? You need some more help in a minute?
No, I think that's enough for now. For a good
Frederick,
while.
you need to send me the your black and white page.
Oh, right. I forgot about that. Yeah. Hold on. Let me do that. You don't. Do you have a high resolution? That's. Yeah, I'll do that after the stream because I got to figure out. I got probably reduce the file size for you.
One of these days, I should do a stream where I have to try to teach Billy how to animate.
Oh God!
Why Billy in particular?
Because I think that would be funny.
It would be
I'm
hilarious.
an artist, you know.
Just do the simple stick figure with the
My
basket.
art style is so, you know, like Morbius. He has nothing on me at all. Mobius,
It's
tomato, tomato. His art style, nothing on how detailed mine is. So you know, it'd be too complex to animate.
Well, can't argue with that.
yeah. I'm speechless.
That's right. Not funny. We're gonna so he got a colorist, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna fuck with them, and then I'm gonna do my colors as well, and we're gonna do all three next to each other.
He's gonna compete for the colorist job.
Mine's gonna be so amazing. You're gonna know mine for the first time you see it.
But even if you win out, Billy Bob, I only pay out in Bitcoin. You know that, right?
That's right. Right now it's at what, 96,000?
Yeah, it crashed all the way down to 95 today.
The inhumanity.
Yeah, leading to humanity's death. Actually, we need to play a little PSA on our stream regularly, and it's about time we do our today's PSA.
Stop. What I've just done is stop a potential 2-hour-long conversation about Bitcoin. Bitcoin hit 80K over the week, and you need to be on high alert for crypto bros with high confidence. This could be anyone. This could be a male coworker. This could be your brother-in-law. This could be your boyfriend's friend who's also a boy, or even a random man on the street. So say you've been approached by one of these crypto bros.
I used to have $2 in Bitcoin, but now it's actually $5.
So you've been locked in a conversation against your will. There's a few things you can try here. No. Now this rarely works, but it gives you a good defensive base.
They said that they knew who Satoshi was, but actually in the documentary...
So what you want to try and do now is make him nervous. Make him distracted. Bitcoin just tanked and now it's only 20K. Whether or not this is true, this is going to make him nervous. He might even run and go look at his phone to see if this is true. Now, if none of these techniques have worked, you can try my last favorite technique, which is take these two fingers and find the pressure points on the back of the neck.
Guess I'll have to keep this in mind when you come up and visit.
Now, what is the advice to the Hawk2 coin enjoyers?
Oh my goodness.
Friggin'
Love the Vulcan nerve pinch.
Yeah, they got newbies. So basically, people who were fans of her meme, whatever that means, they were specifically targeting people who knew nothing about meme coins and selling to them. Apparently, somebody lost like in the six-figure amount, which is insane. Why would you be putting that amount of money into a meme
Because they're
coin?
stupid. They're like absolutely stupid people.
Thank
Apparently.
Yeah, it's a very stupid thing to do. But I think she's also, what they're doing is also criminal on their end. So it's not going to end well for anybody. Friends don't let friends meme coin.
What are you talking about? Raven was wanting you to buy a Dogecoin, right?
XRP, no, there's no shit coining on this show. This is what we do to shitcoiners.
Okay, that's kind of awesome.
You spent all your Bitcoin with the ammo.
How do you aim that thing?
With your heart. It's an MB42. You'll get it eventually.
Oh, I know what I gotta play as well. I just haven't cared to download it, the new Indiana Jones game.
Oh, is that
Evidently, the gameplay is pretty good. It's listen. I already saw like what they showed of like the story, and
does it have stealth mechanics?
Of course, it does.
It might. It probably does. I think I heard somebody say it was kind of like Deus Ex.
I mean, it's a very stealthy game because hardly anybody's seen it so far.
It's 131. Ooh boy.
I can't wait till you start streaming games, Billy Bob. I think it's going to be much more entertaining than you just talking about them.
Well, I have to get a better PC, an actual PC or laptop.
Yeah.
And handle it.
I need to do that as well. I have some friends who build their own PCs. I don't know enough about hardware to trust my own judgment on the matter.
Just don't get Intel. Whatever you do, do not get Intel right now.
Why? Explain.
Friggin' Intel processors are burning out at a 100% guaranteed rate because they screwed up. At least 13th and 14th gen. They'll probably fix it by 15th, but I don't know. I don't know if I trust Intel at this point.
Probably good not to trust them.
So, what's your opinion on flat Earth?
That theory fell kind of flat.
It wasn't a well-rounded theory, you know.
Gave us Rocket Man.
That it did.
What do you mean it gave us Rocket Man?
A guy tried to, build his own rocket to go really high up in the air. And,
not the movie, not the comic book Rocket Man.
No, real Rocket Man.
Oh, I'm disappointed now.
Go figure.
Did you ever see the clip of where the husband was like recording his video, I guess, on proving the science of the flat Earth, right? How the round earthers are bullshit. And his wife is just like telling him to shut the fuck up. She's like so tired of hearing this.
Yeah, I looked into it. Their thought leaders are questionable and retarded.
Wait a minute, hold on. People who think the Earth is flat are retarded?
Oh yeah. I seen this one. They tried to show you that by going far enough, I guess they use an argument about the horizon and how you can see a ship when you zoom in enough, but then when you zoom out, you can't see it anymore because of the curvature. And then eventually you won't even be able to see it when you zoom in. And then they use a football field to kind of quote unquote disprove this. By just walking far enough, you don't even have to go that far, and it looks like you're disappearing and shit. But the issue is, if anyone knows, a football field isn't a flat thing. It's got a giant lump in the middle to keep the water off. But they're idiots, so they don't realize this.
I remember there were a couple cases where they were apparently smart enough to come up with experiments to prove it was flat, but too dumb to realize that when they performed the experiment, it proved that the Earth is round.
Oh yeah, videos on that.
That's a reoccurrence amongst these
Oh,
flat
yeah.
earthers, is they continuously prove the Earth is round. Like the latest one is an app. It turns out his app got geolocation on it, which is y'all know only works because the Earth is round. So it's quite ironic.
I just don't get what's the point of wanting to believe in that.
A handful of people got famous, and now they're just grifters, pretty much. And then they keep up the grift to keep money flowing. At least that's my theory, and they're just kind of using everybody that actually believes in it because it's too stupid.
What I think it comes down to is, to those people, the wrong people told them the Earth was round.
Possibly that too.
It's kind of you see it happen in all kinds of different things. It's like it's why you have illogical people, in my opinion.
Taylor Lorenz said the Earth is round.
What does Taylor
Then
Swift
it must
say?
be so.
Taylor Swift.
I want to know Taylor Swift's take on it.
She says it's a donut.
I mean, Taylor Swift isn't even round, so what would she know?
Very pale, plankish lady. Got the build of a 17-year-old Japanese boy.
Correct. You're very observant, James.
Thank you. I watched anime in my youth.
I never would have guessed.
I hear that has side effects.
Only so, yeah. I mean, it turned a lot of Japanese people gay, but we can profit off of this. As long as we can profit, everything's going to be fine. Just remember that.
Yeah, we're just gonna pretend that looks good. All right.
That's what they did to the Lord of the Rings series. Like, just pretend it looks good. People like practical effects, right? They're not going to be able to tell this is a shirt and not actual armor.
The audience
we
is.
need to get the
audience
Brandon
is-
Sanderson one, when the one fucking journalist was trying to be like, no, it's good, and Brandon Sanderson was like, no, it wasn't. Is it bad? Like, I'm not lying. It was bad.
Sometimes things.
Let's see if I can find it.
Yeah, find it. I want to see that.
I hear that name a lot, Brian Sanderson.
I read one of his books. It was okay. And I heard one of his lectures. It was also okay. I don't think he capitalized on it hard enough, though.
Oh yeah, he did. He did like a whole crowdfunding thing. Major
Profit, capitalize.
You mean by doing like a Sanderson coin?
Now you're thinking like a scumbag.
Ubisoft coin.
Didn't they try? They tried to add NFTs to games or some crap like that.
Yeah.
They want to.
Yeah, they want to, but it's
The idea would be great in theory, but the current video game industry it's not decentralized enough. Because in theory, you could have like 8 different games made by 8 different companies, and a single item in one of them would be valid throughout all of them. So in one game, say you pick up a gun, and in another game, that gun is transferred into a card because it's trading cards for a game, and so on and so on. In theory, that's completely doable and capable, but there's no way you're going to have any of these companies work together to do anything like that.
I mean, it does happen occasionally during a blue moon, like once in a while. Even Marvel and DC did a couple of crossovers during their existence, but it's a rare thing indeed.
Yeah.
Ultimately, for me, Rings of Power is still a 7 or even an 8 out of 10 because I love
8 out of 10.
Ultimately, for me, Rings of Power is still a 7 or even an 8 out of 10.
That look.
Ultimately,
It's the funniest clip.
Okay.
It's like he just,
like, you know what? I'm not even gonna act like it was good.
he whenever you say Rings of Power is good, you're essentially farting through your mouth, and his expression is perfect. That's the expression people give you when you fart through your mouth.
Oh man, that was totally involuntary as well. Like there's no lying in that reaction.
Guess what, man?
Yeah.
Like he was like, "No, I'm not even gonna. No, just no, not happening. I'm not even gonna sit here and go, yeah, sure it is. I'm gonna give like the fucking face of revulsion.
Rings of Power is highly ranked in my book, but mostly because I haven't seen it, but it's made me laugh a lot. So it has to be good.
Naturally.
Only thing I've seen of Rings of Power was I think like Nerd Erotics videos covering it, like him.
I watched Critical Drinker talk about it a bit, and I think Upper Echelon as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's bad. It's just
when you take volcanic, what is it called? Pyroclastic.
Pyroclastic flow.
Mm-hmm. To the fucking face and then survives. Just walks off it. Now,
well, that's why I
remind
say
me,
whenever we're gaming
are-
that elves get a modifier plus 30 to their armor class against pyroclastic flows.
Yeah, and it's like, listen, elves are supposed to be stronger C and all this other shit, right? But they're not. They're only immortal in terms of lifespan, not actually. Like they get killed by weapons and shit just as easily as anyone else.
the problem is everything is a superhero now.
Well, they also had Guy Ladriel, so she had to be really strong and stoic. And we had to have a weird romance plot between her and fucking Sauron.
But she wasn't stoic. She was whiny and a friggin' jerk.
That's what I'm saying. What they wanted to be.
Yeah.
They don't know how to write that character. Theirs is the girl boss variant, which is
It's the Maya Mortal of Tolkien IP.
That's a discredit to my immortal.
You know, you kind of got a point there.
At least my immortal is like at least her original character. Not taking Galadriel and then fucking saying, all right, let's make it a dude with tits. And let's make her a really, really whiny bitch. The fuck is this creature?
Same as him. That's kind of how they work. Is like it's kind of like a weird hobby because he's a freaking golem. So like he just like carves other little hymns and like sends them on their way.
Wait, that's a statue?
So he's basically made out of clay, right? He's like a golem basically. And so that's what this guy is he's this little dude made out of clay, and they're like, all right, well, time to like Send him on his way.
So I tell him to shoe.
Basically.
Making some weird mutants now.
Now, does this take place on Earth or somewhere else?
Somewhere else is the most apt way to put it.
Okay. Can you tell us about this elsewhere?
It freaking sucks. it really sucks to live here.
So it's in Washington.
It's funny enough, actually. Come to think of it, Washington was an inspiration for some of the landscape I've drawn.
Well,
I'm not even joking. Like, because I live on a river, and there are these shells of stone that kind of lay over each other. And so driving down the road, I would see those, and that was the inspiration behind one of the pages. Let me bring it up actually. In the second chapter, it's actually the first page of the second chapter. I'll just do this. Oh wait, this is the cover. Whoops. Dang it. Wrong page. Hold on. This page. But yeah, so these kind of spires of stone were inspired by that. So technically speaking, because I'm in Northern Oregon, yes, it was inspired by Washington.
Those colors, man, the colors look almost like watercolors in some spots.
I like your gradient work.
I was definitely inspired by Mobius, because he uses gradients all the time. This panel right here is actually based off of a piece of concept art I did way back, like early design stuff. Let me grab that here real quick. I need to find it. Is it this one? No, this isn't it. Hold on. Yeah, here it is. This is like really early stuff before I even really knew what the full concept was.
Nice. I like the design.
This is what kind of settled the art style. That's why I also took a lot of inspiration from Roger Dean, which, if you're a big prog rock guy, you know him to be the cover artist for a lot of Yes albums. Let's see here. But yeah, as far as the world goes, I have to be careful with how much I talk about it because the world is very much a part of the story and you're not really supposed to understand it fully. But I can say that there's a reason why it's so empty, and this page in particular is extremely significant. Like, extremely significant. This is one of the last pages of what I currently have for chapter 3. But like this whole lead up and what's going on here is basically explains it. And basically what's going on here is, you know, they're out in the desert, they're hanging out in the desert, they're doing their thing. And the Rook, this guy here, he's like, I'm going to take you to this place. I'm going to show you something. And he brings her here, and you just see all this stuff, all this different junk, seeming from different times, places, eras, developments, like just this mishmash of culture and all this kind of stuff. And it's all culminated into one area. And then there's this depicting, well, what it's depicting.
Mysterious. Is the reason that everything is empty because it's faster to draw?
Yes, partially so. But also because thematically the world is empty. It's war-torn. It's devastated. It's kind of at the end of its life, in a way.
I like that. Interesting themes. It's not themes you run across every day. Definitely an original piece. Are you going to be eventually doing a crowdfunding or a print version of the book, or is it meant to be digital?
Ideally, I want to do a printed version, and the printed version. So basically, chapters 1 through 5 will be available. Chapter 6, which will basically be the epilogue, will be available in either the printed form or the digital copy that will be sold. So eventually I really do want to do a physical book once everything is done. But I still have quite a ways to go before that'll be happening.
Yeah, I hear you, man. It's a lot of work. And then it's more work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Animated Moon, what Christmas movies you been watching?
I haven't really been watching Christmas movies, actually. Trying to think of any Christmas movies I want to watch.
You need to watch Santa Claus.
Maybe I'll make it a point just for you.
Listen, I still enjoy the movie. It's good. Albeit there's kind of a fucked up subtext in the movie.
How about
in the second
Fat
one
Man?
for him to stay Santa?
Oh, I like the Fat Man. That was a good laugh.
In the second one, you find out that he has to get married to stay Santa Claus, right?
Mm-hmm.
First one, the Santa Claus falls off the fucking roof. Okay.
Oh.
He gets decommissioned as Santa Claus. And he goes there to the North Pole that night. So at some point during when Santa fell off the mat or the roof and it's no longer Santa, the elves must have kicked out like Mrs. Claus like immediately.
So, assuming that wasn't like a new Santa, he did fall off a roof rather easily. So it just calls him, "Hey, who's up there?" He falls down. It's a little amateur.
Nah, he definitely had a wife. The elves went, "Get the fuck out, bitch! You need to go. We got new Santa."
Oh, they ate her.
But if you haven't checked out the movie The Fat Man, it's basically Mel Gibson is Santa, and the hitman really hates him and wants to kill him. So Santa Claus gets in a gunfight with the hitman.
Hold up. A little bit of context is it's Mel Gibson.
Yeah, he's Santa Claus.
We have Black Mrs. Claus.
Yeah.
The elves are like crackheads for sugar. They
That's right.
like crackheads. Like little crackheads.
That's how he controls them.
The government, it's a government program.
Well, it's half like military industrial Santa Claus complex.
Yes. The hitman hates Santa because Santa didn't give him a toy that he wanted as a kid. The one who hired the hitman is a little tiny fucking like psychopathic kid, like rich kid.
It's a modern day Santa Claus story.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Santa, he fought in like World War I and World War II and killed some Nazis.
All right, I've got our little holiday song here to play for you to put us all in the Christmas mood.
Bitches ain't shit, but hoes and tricks to lick on these nuts and suck the dick. Get the fuck out after you're done, then I hops in my coupe and run. Bitches ain't shit, but hoes and tricks, grab the cash and make it quick. Long as my pockets is nice and fat, don't give a fuck where the bitch was at. Balling down in motherfucking fucking Compton on the streets. Tighter than a motherfucker with all of them gangsta beats. Bitches ain't shit, but hoes and tricks bailed from jail on a sunny day. I'm hanging with Snoop D, O double G, and my homeboy Dr. Dre.
So
Oh.
yeah, the channel's called There I Ruined It. He takes the AI and like mashes the songs together. The best one was I think like a 50 Cent and like a country song. Just worked incredibly well.
I like the time that he took Boomhauer and had him do Rap God.
I have to find also the other one. It's the 50 Cent one. I think that was the best one I've heard. Because like the actual lyrics in the song went really well together, like too well.
That's the thing about music. You can do a lot of overlap in strange ways.
Well, that's what happens when everything's a 4-chord song or
Oh, you know what?
built on the same premise.
I'm gonna find it in here in a bit. I'm doing a mission thing, but after that, I'll find it. It's where the dude does the comparison between "Baby It's Cold Outside" and like a modern rap song.
Wet Ass Pussy is the
Yeah,
modern-
Wet Ass Pussy.
Oh my god.
Because they had canceled the Christmas song because of the toxic
Yeah, they done it twice.
masculinity.
I remember they done it twice. It wasn't just like one time. They harped on that shit twice.
But Wet Ass Pussy would play on the radio, basically.
I have to find it because it is hilarious.
We are such a cultured people.
Well, it was just showing like the absurdity of the cancel culture at that time. Of course, cancel culture is pretty much fucking dead at this point.
One could say it's puts on shades.
Yeah.
Canceled.
I mean, it's funny watching it because now the people who went with all that stuff, they're getting really upset because no one's like, just does not care anymore. It's not working.
Go figure.
Out anymore. Beautiful. And Tenkage is working, so I don't know if his other co-workers heard that.
Oh, is he at work
Just,
right now?
The Christmas song, you know.
That's pretty cool.
You know what? See, here's the thing. I'd rather listen to all that than because I used to work at Lowe's, and the music never you know how the mail never stops. It's shitty off-brand music that they purchased the rights to shop listening to. There's not even a comparison.
It's your shopping mall radio.
Oh my god. Dude, and it was like really real. There was one that was really bad, like rendition of a fucking Christmas song.
Yikes.
I might have to find it. I can usually put up with annoying stuff, you know, like that. But I was literally fixing to go insane while working there.
Oh, we got a new co-host joining us right at this moment. Let me just play his intro as I bring him on.
Who let the water weasel in?
Welcome, Lord
to
Otter.
be executed for doing it.
Well, I'm glad that you guys aren't. At least not yet, anyway.
Don't worry. I forgot what we're talking about.
Perfect. It's time to strike.
All right, let's take a shot then.
Oh, shit.
Hockey is the superior sport, man. There's no comparing to it. Like I was watching American football this weekend, and it just does not compare to hockey.
I don't know. Have you seen all female pole vaulting?
It's not. It's not a competitive. It's not a team sport. It's not the same.
I know what you mean, though.
Yeah,
I could never get into American football. It like the height compared to the actual game itself, it's like night and day. You got like this otherworldly type of height, then the game starts, and it's like the most boring fucking thing.
You got people on the sideline looking at spreadsheets with the mic.
What is it, Billy?
There can be some really good moments in football.
Okay, fair enough.
I forgot it was
yeah, for sure.
One Tennessee Titans game. I forgot who the quarterback was. I think fucking murdered his wife or something. But anyways, he made like a span of 11 seconds, made the fucking pass to the end zone. And it was
You can have real turnaround in games in American football. Like it seems like even the late in the game, you can have like a real twist.
I don't know why America decided logistics were the way to go with sports, because baseball's like the same thing. It's like, how do I statistically make it like the most probable that I win?
Who wants to lose?
Apparently.
I love hearing like the arguments, like whenever you hear like so many people just like dissing on baseball, calling it a boring sport, and then they turn right to American football, and I'm like, I hate to say it, but one's not exactly like leaps and bounds above the other, you know?
Well, I
Like,
mean, the
that's
funny
the
thing with baseball, it's our sport. Like actually,
it's our sport.
Do any Americans watch hockey by any chance?
There's a big hockey following here in the States.
Okay.
Boston Bruins.
Albeit the naming for Tennessee's hockey team is not the best. The Predators.
I saw that. That's terrible, man. Like if you ever get caught doing something while you're playing for the Predators, it's not a good look, man. Yeah, they were playing the Canadians last week.
I don't even think we have a state baseball team. I don't know. Baseball's not doing well, but it's really big in Japan.
Oh, it's huge in Japan and South Korea.
Mexicans love baseball and soccer. As long as there's a thriving Mexican population, you'll have those two sports.
I don't know about baseball. I don't think I hear much of them, but I know.
I honestly think here in the States, a lot of the hype around football really isn't around the game itself. There are enthusiasts, of course, but I think most of it's the actual tailgating parties.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Football culture is deep, man. Those guys keep track of players. It's a sport, you know. People got to get all sporty with it.
It can get super hardcore. I know that much. Like fantasy football,
like football, but I've been in the football culture. Like people know, but if you go down to those any of those barbecues, man, people be talking football. They be talking players. They be talking teams. They'll be pulling out their fantasy rosters. It's sports, man. People get crazy over it.
Yeah, I've lived in Alabama. I know what you mean.
But yeah, Mexicans really like their baseball. Half of the reason that LA's got a baseball team is because of Mexico.
I love their baseball and then Dragon Ball.
Yeah, they're really into anime. That's because they didn't have any syndicated television back in the day, so they had to import this shit.
Let me find that the way the fucking baseball Cold outside, medium bit.
Oh, the AI thing, yeah.
No, not the AI. By the way, there's a male and a female version of this song as well.
It's called Baby.
Uh-oh, here we go.
Have you seen this animated, Moon?
No, I've not.
What really killed me was last Christmas, we canceled a song that was written in the 1940s called Baby, It's Cold Outside. People said that they were triggered, that the lyrics were rapey, and they had toxic masculinity. And that's fine if you feel that way, but people across the country wouldn't play the song because people were outraged, which is fine if you feel that way. But at the exact same time, the #1 song in this nation for over 2 months was Wet Ass Pussy. I'm not making that up. You can look it up. Google it. So I want to wrap up my show by comparing and contrasting the lyrics of these two songs. If indeed this country has lost its fucking mind, shall we? Let's start with the hardly offensive Christmas song written just after World War II. I really can't stay, baby, it's cold outside. I gotta go away, baby, it's cold outside. This evening has been so very nice. Yeah, you fucking with some wet ass pussy. Bring a bucket and a mop for this wet ass pussy. Beat it up, N-word, extra large, extra hard. Put this pussy right in your face, swipe your nose like a credit card. My mother will start to worry. Beautiful, what's your hurry? My father will be pacing the floor, listen to that fireplace roar, well, maybe just half a drink more. Spit in my mouth. In my eyes. This pussy is wet. Come take a dive. Talk your shit, bite your lip, ask for a car while you ride that dick. My sister will be suspicious. Gosh, your lips look delicious. My brother will be there at the door, waits on a tropical shore, well, maybe just a cigarette more. I don't want to spit, I want to gulp, I want to gag, I want to choke. I want you to touch that little dangly thing that's swinging the back of my throat. I submit to you, ladies and gentlemen, this country has lost its fucking mind.
My word.
Oh, it's quite the academic paper.
He's a professional comedian.
The
Certainly good delivery.
The second best paper I've read since the one that suggested that scent is racist.
And see, that's why they want to cancel, comedy and stuff. Because a comedian can just point it out and make people laugh and go, "Oh, that is retarded."
Yeah, they did for a long time. Comedy was dead for a while.
It's starting, like I said, cancel culture is over now. It really is. It just doesn't.
For now.
Doesn't work. So, you're starting to see comedians and other people just starting to say, "Yeah, fuck you, I don't give a shit."
There's a handful of them I forever distrust, like that Sarah Silverman fella.
Why did you trust her in the first place?
I never really trusted her, but I distrust her.
Crap. Friggin' hair.
Hair, yeah.
I'm gonna have to send you the video of my walkthrough on how to draw hair.
You can't do a
Show me.
live demo?
This art style
Well, I'm
kind of
playing
reminding
the
me
game
of.
right now. I could, I'm a master artist, as you know.
Otter, you got in late, but Billy Bob's started a segment where he's teaching artists how to draw.
Yeah.
He started with a foot. A club foot, to be exact.
Your art
We had
style
elephant
kind of
fight.
reminds me of it kind of reminds me of Pathologic. If you ever played that game,
Pathologic. I know I've heard of it. I've probably seen. Let me look it up here.
I've heard of it. I think I was gonna play the second game. I just never got around to it, and then it went off of Game Pass.
Most of the images are just of a creepy guy with like a thin black guy with a mask on, but it's got a lot of interesting art.
Huh. Yeah, I've definitely seen this around.
Hey, Patrick, how's it going, man?
Oh, you just missed it, Patrick.
Hail, Mr. Patrick.
Yeah. Don't miss Patrick and myself on Comicsgate Commandos tomorrow at 8:30 Eastern on PQ Vox's channel.
Also, Animate Moon, you're supposed to be start doing more shorts and stuff, right?
Trying to. That's the hard part. There's no such thing as short in terms of work when it comes to animation. But yes, I want to do more stuff with those characters I showed earlier, the monster kids and stuff like that. Yeah, so I just need to find the time and all that while still being able to pay rent. So always a balancing act, but I'll make it happen.
I've been making these videos that are semi-animated. Do you know what Tailspire is?
Tailspire? I've not heard of it.
It's a
I
virtual
do.
tabletop.
It's really cool.
Tabletop that lets you kind of make your own simple world, so you can kind of play a D&D-esque game in them.
Okay.
And you use digital miniatures. So what I did was I made a bunch of digital miniatures, and I just mocap their face so they can talk using this awesome AI program where it just kind of, it tracks your face, and then it takes a basic ass image. It finds the facial expressions of said image, and it'll just apply mocap to it, like if it was rigged for speaking. So it's like semi-animation where everything's pretty much still. It's very sound effects heavy, and just like people's heads are moving.
Do you have a sample of that handy, or?
Yes, let me pull it up on the YouTube channel. I'll drop the.
Please
the
do,
link.
yeah.
Go to my videos right quick.
So, what did you say your art style was inspired by?
Well, it depends on which art style, but this one in particular was Mobius, games like Ico or Shadow of the Colossus, and Roger Dean. And I guess surrealism as a whole, impressionism and surrealism. Honestly, I would love to do more surrealist painting in general. I know everyone would call it liminal because they're freaking bunch of uneducated Philistines, but
of course they always are, I put the link in a private chat.
Right, pull it up, Frederick. Pull it up. Pull it now.
All right, let me grab
Pull
it.
up, pull it, pull it, pull it.
Okay, gotta. Ooh-ha. Okay. Cue it up. The Cyberpunk Radio?
Yes, that's the one.
Okay, hold on. Let me just share it.
Also, I watched the Truman Show. I don't think I ever actually watched it.
it's a good movie. I like that movie.
I got a couple issues with it, but I enjoyed it.
Still a good movie, I think.
Can you guys hear it?
Yeah.
Well, Well, good whatever time it is in Whitlow. You're listening to The Afternoon Swimmer with your host, Ian the Fish. Yep, well, they still pay me to talk into this thing. Who'd have thought it, huh? Just me, you, and the thick haze hanging over the grid.
Somewhere out there, the execs in the Capitol are probably scratching their heads wondering if I'm the reason for their budget cuts. But hey, you get what you paid for.
Here's one to start things off on a real electrifying note. We're spinning up Zan 3's breakout track, Heart in the Circuit. Now you've heard the name, even if you can't stand the sound of him bragging about his upgrades. They say he's the Taboo superstar of steel, all because he's got a little extra spark under the hood, you know?
Now, I wouldn't say the guy's subtle. He's a one-man parade of parts. Folks in Tyrex City would be running for the exits if they saw him walking down the street, but hey.
That place is just a city-sized mall now. At least the customer service is decent there. But old Zan 3 here, well, he's got a heart in the circuit, or so he claims. If only the thing came with a volume knob. So sit back, take a deep breath, unless you're near any open flames.
Yeah,
and let's dive into the track that made Zan 3 every rebel's favorite rust bucket.
Inspired by whatchamacallit, like GTA and all that. From here, it's literally just some tracks, so you can probably pause it.
Okay.
It actually gives me kind of a machinima vibes.
Yes, that's kind of what I was going for. And you know, it's kind of like a because I've done some animation before, and I hear you. It's a bitch. Time-wise, very fun to do when you pull it off. Like, oh my god, I did that. But I thought this is a nice medium in between. You know, minimal animation. And it's all just I tell my voice actors turn your camera on and record your face because we're going to use that at the mocap.
Yeah, definitely an interesting use of it. Yeah.
Yes, and all I got to do is just take a snapshot and upload it into the AI machine. And it's, you know, I guess it's what people call ethical AI because it's not borrowing from anything short of the image you feed it and your own performance.
Yeah.
So people are like, oh, regenerative and all that. It's not that at all. It's not pulling from anything like that.
Let's see.
About time to start wrapping it, Frederick.
Oh, yeah, I see. All right. You gentlemen have anything else to add before we close into shill time? Any final thoughts?
Wrestling is fake.
How can you say that? It's
You
on
know
film
what?
for everyone to see.
You sound like one of those flat earthers animators.
All right, cancel him. Take him off the roster.
How could you say something so false? Listen, I think we're gonna have to put you in a mental institution, Animated Moon.
What makes you think I'm not already in one?
Let me ask you, Animated Moon, would you tell a wrestler that to his face?
Yeah.
Probably not.
I rest my case. All right, it's shill time.
Convoy, 12 o'clock, on my command! Deploy! Little off course here. Ooh, holy mommy fucking shit!
Oh, there they are. Look at these gorgeous sons of bitches.
Listen, Animated Moon, are you trying to tell me that the Undertaker isn't really dead? I mean, it just sounds like lunacy if you're trying to say that.
Well, he is the Undertaker. I mean,
His brother is Kane, you know.
like from the Bible?
Maybe.
From the governor's office. What's he governor of?
He's not governor. He's actually a mayor in Tennessee.
Or mayor? Yeah. What town is he mayor of?
It's
Knoxville.
somewhere in East Tennessee. Yeah.
It's Knoxville.
It's funny. Yeah, what do you got to say about that? We do have a wrestler as a mayor. To
See, how can he be real? Mayors aren't real.
The funny thing is, he's actually like pretty based and stuff on his politics.
Well, it's WWE. They're not really that woke.
Well, speaking of woke, Lord Otter.
Well, if you want to check out what the Otter does outside of stealing surfboards and everything, you can find my book on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. It is a swords and sorcery tale by the name of The Curse of the Star Raids. If you like tales of dynamic duos, brotherhood, or weird magic, I think you'll like it. Also, there's tits here and there. It's really fun. A lot of magic, a lot of adventure. Some boobs every here and there. I think you'll like it.
Steel and Stormbright, The Curse of the Star Wraiths. An exciting sword and sorcery adventure about two brothers trying to make their way in a harsh world. Link in the description.
All right, Wrangler.
You can find my books on Amazon, Haley's Star Bad Kitty, and the follow-up Bad Kitty Haley's World. A magic-fueled sci-fi adventure, and you have a good time. Haley and Elizabeth are a lot of fun. You can also find me on YouTube. Channel search at Wrangler212, and I'll pop right up. And you can also find me on the X Twitter, Truth, Minds, and Substack under Frequency Studios.
Haley and Elizabeth are back, and this time, the spuds are really going to fly. Bad Kitty, Haley's World. Link in the description.
This time, it's personal.
James.
You can find all my stuff, all my writings, all my little animation things, all my radio plays at worldwithoutendmore.substack.com. Go give it a look.
The undead are planning to attack, and it's up to Gwendolyn the Gnome to deliver word to the humans before they're taken by surprise. Glimmerleaf, link in the description.
Animated Moon.
You can find me over on YouTube at The Animated Moon, as well as pretty much every other social media platform I have, including Twitter, Kara, and to my probably mental detriment, Blue Sky.
Cool. I got to follow you over there. I just made an account too for the fun of it.
Well, hey, I mean, I'm not going to get too crazy with that.
1 to Tumblr. What would you rate Blue Sky?
Freaking worse than Tumblr, like by a long shot. But hey, if you want someone who actually is somewhat sane over there, you want to just follow for art and art's sake and all that kind of stuff, and that's what I do. You can also find my comic, The Animated Moon, at theanimatedmoon.neocities.org. Eventually, it will be theanimatedmoon.com, but not right now. And if you're interested in seeing a comic that tries to go in a different direction than your typical, power fantasy, superhero cape kind of stuff, then give it a look. It's meant to kind of make you think. So,
all right, he's calling you out, Frederick.
Yeah.
Dude.
I'm just adding a little bit of variety to the medium. That's my goal with it.
Well, that was really ironic. My game hard crashed right after that.
He's also got me beat in the page production department. You're fast, very fast.
But do check it out. It's on his website. It has each chapter. They're all made easily.
Link
to read on
is
the phone.
in the description and in the chat. Check that out.
And Frederick. Oui.
imakecomics.com is the forward address that'll take you to retellcomic.com, where you can see samples of the comic book in production. I've got a new one coming out that I haven't published yet. I'll probably publish it tomorrow. Check that on the website. And did you know I also have a YouTube channel with an art stream on Tuesdays called Proof of Comics. Proofofcomics.com will take you there, which is here. So it'll take you right back here. Then it's like a loop. So yeah, check that out.
Nice.
Don't forget Only Gremlins.
I ain't got nothing this month. Time for the outro.
Don't you have a Rook video that just came out?
Yeah.
Check that out on Billy Bob Sachs channel. And we're out. Say goodbye, everybody. Bonsoir.
Have a great night, everybody. And God bless.
Goodbye,
next
everybody.
week.
Take care.
Au revoir.
The sun has gone to bed, and so must I. So long, farewell. Auf Wiedersehen, goodbye. 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 Goodbye.
Hello, Bitcoiners. Thank you very much. Hello. It's good to be with you. It's good to be with you.